completed, bring them. If you have background check form, or if you need a background check form, then come see me and we can give you one. You can go ahead and complete it. All right, if you will listen to these names, these are people that we need a background check for. So these are people that we have not even, that have not completed a background check and have not completed a background check authorization. So I'm just going to go through these names really quickly. I have forms up here, so if I call your name, you can come grab a form. I'll put it over here so it doesn't get confused with other stuff, okay? So background checks form up here. So I have Heather Ansley, Corey Arrington, Cynthia Barr, Megan Bartnick, Kayla Bell, Kelly Binge, Tina Marie Blakely, Jamie Blakely, Tanya Blondell, Barbara Bolander, Heather Burry, I'll go faster, Pam Butler, Saki Calkins, Amanda Carroll, Christina Chambers, Jonathan Chambers, Alyssa Cohen, Karen Korn, Brian Korn, Christy Dahlquist, Perry Davis, Richard Dominy, Helen Dominy, Rachel Everd, Jennifer Fantone, Romana Fadoon, I hope I did not butcher that. Pamela Furnett, Brittany Fitzpatrick, Teresa Flaherty, Michael Franceschino, Jorge Gaitan, Genia Gerlach, Megan Gramling. Oh, George, you're good. Deborah Grubb, Kim Harvey, Christina Henderson, Emily Heston, John Hyatt, Jennifer Ravenhill Griffith, Kim Ennis, John James, Tamara Jones, Kim Jones, Lindsay Judson, Elena Kellogg, Clifford Kellogg, Shannon King, Nicholas King, Patricia Lipinski, Ashley Leahy, Gina Levine, Joanne Logston, Brad Logston, Teresa Logston, Nicole Luciani, Jamie Lynn, Shauna Manchette, Brandy McBride, Nicole McCormick, Vicki McDaniel, Samara McLaughlin, Lisa McNeil, Amanda Meadows, Crystal Meal, Julio Mejia, Kristen Minnerly, DM Wynn Morgan, Emma Newhoff. I don't see anybody moving yet, so I haven't hit a nerve. Kim Osborne, Jeannie Powell, Rebecca Rich. Ah, there's a taker. Wendy Roberts, Kisha Rudnicki, Jody Russell, Dustin Sanchez, Janelle Seville, Bambi Shine, Rebecca Sindel, Peggy Smith, Sarah Snyder, Debbie Summerford, Rachel Spires, Terry Stainier, Judy Stapello, Sarah Underhill, Grant Weltman, Chris Williams, Alicia Wilson, Christina Zioli. All right, that's good. So apparently none of those people are here. That's not a positive thing. I see a hand. I see that hand. Yikes. Okay. That's the Franceschino. Okay. So we need to make a mark there. Franceschino, there it is. So Michael Franceschino, we need to check on. Yes. They could have signed up as volunteers. The Kellogg's. Okay, would you let me know? Yeah, because I see Elena and Clifford Kellogg. Any other comments about our background checks? Yes? Say it again, I'm sorry. What's your name? Oh, she said, I got one this weekend, and it's you. You win the lottery. So there you go. That's it. What's already in? Okay. Just Teresa Logston. Okay, so Amanda Carroll, let me mark that one off. And Logston. I'm just going to double check it, but I'm sure that we have it. Just Teresa. There's 4 Logstons. Just Teresa, right? Okay. Go ahead. All right. 2. Grant Weltman turned one into. Okay. Anyone else? Yes.
My friend Barbara Bolander's name was called.
I see that.
She's out of this area, but she's coming that weekend to be here. You have her assigned on a committee, and she told me she downloaded the background check and sent it in. Could that mean it just hasn't been processed yet?
These are ones, all of our background checks that, unless there's a mistake, and it's possible, okay? So, I mean, it's been overwhelming, so it's very possible that there's a mistake, but I'm just going to make a note to double check that.
Thank you. I'll talk to her tonight when I get home, and if for some reason she hasn't.
It would be great if she would just resend it,
Okay.
just so we're sure.
Okay, great.
And it doesn't take us any time. I mean, it doesn't cost her anything to resend it, and that way we know that we have
I'll
it.
make sure she does.
Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. Jeannie Powell is not going to be able to be a part? Okay. Thank you. Anything else? Okay, let's have a word of prayer, and then let's begin. Just a few kind of introductory remarks, and we're going to break up. And I understand Jaguars are winning, so that's a positive thing. So, yeah. Sorry. Any Patriots fans? It's like 2 of you. There you go. That's the 2 of you. There you go. Let's have a word of prayer. Lord, thank you so much for just the privilege of being able to serve alongside of you, God. This has been a really neat thing to see come together and to see you work in our midst. And God, I know that you have a plan for February the 9th. Honestly, God, even with the preparations that we've made and thoughts towards this, we have no idea what your plan is. And so, God, I pray that you would, work in our lives and our hearts, and God, that you would just make that night what it needs to be for you. God, this weekend has been just so cool to see this boutique opened, and God, just the work that's been done there, and the people that have come in for us to serve them. It's just really, it gets me personally excited about what you have in store for the night of Night to Shine. And God, I pray that that night would be a night of ministry, of connection, of love, of care, of consideration. And God, that you would be, that your name would be made great, and that you would be just our primary focus of that evening. And God, that you would accomplish your will and your purpose in our lives. God, we thank you for the privilege of being a part of this. And God, we pray that everything that is done in this place tonight would be pleasing to you. And God, that we would be able to know that you're leading us every step of the way. God, we love you, and we thank you for your love for us. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, a couple of quick things. First of all, I'm about to pass a roll sheet. Now, this is crazy. for us to do this because of the number of people that are in this room. But what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to just pass it row by row. It is very small, all right? It is in alphabetical order. Let me be sure that you understand. It is in alphabetical order, like 2 columns. So if you will find your name on there, if your name happens to not show up, and as we have already seen, that is a very much a possibility. If your name happens to not show up, if you will just write it in the blank close to where it should be. All right, that way we can just kind of insert that real easily. Don't worry about if your name's not on here, but please write it in because we need to go back and check, make sure that everything's in line, make sure that everything is there. So if you'll pass this row by row, I'm just going to start it right over here on the front. If you'll pass all the way to the back and then come over to this and pass all the way to the front, all the way to the back, and all the way to the front, that will be great. Okay, so we'll try to take care of that. This way. If you have not registered for this event, it means that means that you have not gotten a response email from me, and it means that as late as this afternoon, you did not get an email from me saying come here at 5 o'clock. So if you are not getting those emails, I cannot say this more clearly. If you are not getting those emails, then you need to go to nighttoshinedeland.org. It will look like that. If it looks like anything else, you're on the wrong place. We've had some people say, I registered, and then we start checking, and they're like, no, you didn't register. So you go there, and you see the volunteer registration right there in the, I don't know what color that is, but that color. I'm colorblind, so it's that one. Volunteer registration at the bottom of the page, and then you click that. Is it going to happen? Oh, don't worry about it. It's fine. No. So, volunteer registration, that is where you register. For any VIPs that are going to register, we are currently at waitlist status. I know that I told you last time that our hope and goal was to not turn anyone away. That is still our hope and goal. But we have to consider our facility. We only have so much room. Right now we have 162 VIPs that are signed up for this event. So that is awesome. But when you think about 162 VIPs, if all of them bring a parent, that just went to 324, thank you, that many. And then if you think about every one of them being assigned a buddy, that just went to 446. And then, did I do that pretty well? And then if you think, no, that's not right. But anyway, a lot. 486. And then if you think about our food service and activity team and medical team, and I mean, you're talking about 500 to 600 people in our Family Life Center. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, you need to pray, if that happens, that our fire marshal does not show up, all right? Because it really is. It's over capacity. It's a really neat problem to have. When we started this process, we didn't know if it's a requirement that you have 75 VIPs. And honestly, right at the beginning, we were like, oh, that's a lot of people to come. And so now we're at 162 that have registered, and I think we have 17 on the wait list already. And so we're nearing the 200 mark if we open it up to our buddy list. We do know that there are some people that are double registered, and so we're contacting them, making all those connections. And so everything will work out, but that's kind of how it is. Here's the other thing about this event. And our administrative pastor kind of made this analogy earlier today, and I think it's a great analogy. We're basically flying a plane and building it all at the same time. So we're just kind of rocking through this thing without really knowing what February the 9th is going to look like. It's a guarantee that whatever plans we make, when we get to the night of February the 9th, it's going to be different. Okay? So, and that's an exciting thing. That's an energetic thing. But it also is a little bit of a problem. Okay? We have over 400 volunteers for this event, which if you remember a couple of weeks ago, I mean, this was just a few weeks ago, we met and I said that we had 158 volunteers signed up at that point. I told all of you to go find one other volunteer, and you did. You did a good job. And now listen, just to be real bluntly honest with you, 400 volunteers is additionally, it's kind of a difficulty. Because we've got to think about what to do with 400 volunteers. If 400 volunteers all want to go to the event and just stand around and be a part of this, and then you have 162 VIPs plus parents, we can't hold that many people in the building. And so it's very possible that on some of these teams, you're going to serve on your team, and then you can come over and say, oh, that was neat. And then you got to leave. You got to go home. We can't let you stay because we've got to protect the deal. Also, I know the question was asked last time about whether or not we're going to be feeding volunteers. The answer to that is an emphatic no. You are going to eat before you come, and you are going to make sure that all the food is for the VIPs. All right? That is our goal. We're going to feed VIPs and caretakers and parents, but it's about them. And so I'm just going to make it real clear to you. Eat your supper, all right, before you get here. And that's what it's going to be about, all right? Okay, so this is our goal. A couple of things. First of all, before tonight, now we have a few that have signed up tonight, but before tonight, now you heard me say we have 162 VIPs. I have 117 people on the buddy team. So here was the situation. If you were 16 plus and you asked to be on the buddy team, I put you on the buddy team. There was no maybe, ifs, ands, or buts. If you were like, I'd do the buddy team, or I would do this, or I would do that, or I would do this, I'm like, no, buddy team. That's how it's going to happen. If that didn't happen for you, then come see me. And when we separate into teams in just a minute, stay here with the buddy team. I'm going to need some people that are signed up in two main places. I'm going to need some people that are signed up to do setup, tear down, to do buddy team. Maybe and buddy team. So you can do the setup, and then you can go get dressed, then you can come back and be a buddy, and then you can go get dressed, come back and tear down. That would be awesome, okay? You'd be like most valuable in that moment, okay? So we're going to need that. Our activity team. If you looked at the sheets that are out there, our activity team is pretty long. There's a lot of people. We don't need that many people on the dance floor all night long, okay? And so we're going to need some of you that are signed up for activity team to be willing to come over to be a buddy. We've got to increase in that number for us to be able to assign buddies to all of the VIPs that are coming, okay? Everybody got that? Thumbs up if you got it? Cool, very good. All right, so what we're going to do tonight is we're going to try to not take many questions. We're going to try to just walk through a few things, and then what we're going to do is we're going to separate into groups, and we're going to spread out across our campus, and we're going to let you meet with just your team, and y'all are just going to have a conversation. Team leaders that are in here, let me just say, when you go to your team, I'm not expecting you to have all of the details all ironed out. Really, it's an opportunity for you to kind of sit with your team, have a conversation with them, make sure that if they're asking questions and y'all talking together will help you to all kind of arrive at a really good spot together on the end, okay? This is our last meeting before February the 9th. Part of the reason for that is because I'm leaving the country tomorrow. So I'll be back in about 8 or 9 days, and we'll regroup and start thinking about Night to Shine, or at least that's where my brain will go. So anyway, it's going to be a good time, and I'm excited about what is going on. I'm going to draw your attention to the little packet that you picked up when you walked in. Is that roll sheet going around? Where's the roll sheet now? Okay, go quick. I want to be sure that we can get that all the way around before we break up. All right, so the first three, or actually the first 4 pages, are really just for your information. Many of you signed up for one of these teams. Some of the teams have been combined, and so, like, for instance, our volunteer check-in team, our buddy check-in team, our parking team, our welcome team, our red carpet team, all of those we're considering welcome. So there might be various roles that are in the midst of this. So like our decorating team, we put our decorating team in with setup, tear down. So, because we feel like decorating is a part of setup. Makes sense, right? So that's there's some combinations in those, but I wanted you to have those descriptions. Now, here's the other thing that you need to understand about Night to Shine. And Lord love the national organization. It's a beautiful thing that they are doing, but they give us a lot of freedom as to what Night to Shine is going to look like at Stetson Baptist Church. You see the job descriptions. And by the way, you're like, so what else are we supposed to tell them about? And what else are we supposed to be trained about? That's pretty much it. That's all the instruction they give you. And so it really is a little bit of a challenge. That's why I say we're flying a plane and building it all at the same time. And when we get to February the 10th, we'll know what we're doing. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good, all right? So the thing that I want all of you to know, because all of you over the course of the evening with Night to Shine, you will all come into personal interaction with some of our VIPs. Whether you're on the welcome team, whether you're on the medical team, whether you're on setup teardown team, whether you're on decorating team, no matter who you are as a part of Night to Shine, you will at some point in the evening have an opportunity to interact with our VIPs. And so because of that, I want us to talk about buddy team all together. Because you know what? You're all buddies. Even though you may be playing a specific role, you're all going to be buddies. You may not be assigned with someone in particular, but you're all going to be buddies because you're just going to interact with the people that come to this event. So there's a few things that we need to think about when we are buddies. One of those, thank you. One of those is that there are some sensitive words that you need to be very careful about. So this is the last page. So we're looking at page 8 of your handout, which is labeled page 55. So we're looking at that. I want you to see these things because I know that some of you have prior experience working with people with special needs, but some of you have never done that. I have never officially been in any kind of a role where I have officially worked with people with special needs. I've had several people in the churches that I've ministered in that have had special needs. I've had several youth, like teenagers and youth groups that I have. I had a guy named Billy Irby one time that was a person that had Down syndrome, and he was just such a sweet, sweet kid, and I loved him, and he loved me, and it was just great. But I've never had the opportunity to really kind of have this type of training. So I want you to look at those offensive terms. I want you to look at those, and I want you to read through those. Some of those offensive terms you will see in, and you would never use some of that language. I completely understand. But there are also some of those terms that we might have used in the past. So just going all the way down, suffers from. That's something that's a really easy thing, and maybe you've used that terminology before. And what they're saying here is they're wanting to make sure that the people that come to our event are seen as people, and not that their disability that they're struggling with defines them. We want to make sure that we see people as people first, and we don't let something that they're dealing with or something that they are working through or something that they're walking through life with define their personality or who they are. And really a lot of these phrases and these terms, that's really where the base of it is. It's making sure that we deal with people first and that we see people first. So I just want to walk through these offensive phrases. Instead of saying a disabled person, say a person with disabilities. Instead of a special needs person, say a person with special needs. So when we first started doing this, I had to learn that lesson, because when we were talking about this as a staff, one of the things that I remember saying was, we're going to have Night to Shine, which is a special needs prom. No, it's not. It's a prom for people with special needs. Now, I'm just being honest with you those are little pieces of terminology, but they mean a lot. It shows consideration towards the people that we are serving. Instead of a wheelchair-bound person, say a person in a wheelchair. Instead of autistic person, say a person with autism. Instead of a dwarf or midget, say a person of short stature. Instead of normal or healthy kids, say typical kids or kids without disabilities or special needs. So those are important things for you to kind of read through, think about, and trust me, you're going to have to catch yourself. You're going to have to think about this in a very specific way as we walk through this evening with our VIPs. I also love the terminology of VIP. I think that's a great terminology that we can use when we're considering the people that we're going to be serving. There's one more thing that I wanted to share. Okay, when we're talking about buddies, if somebody asked last time how we were going to assign buddies, if we were going to assign boys to boys, if we're going to assign girls to girls, or are we going to assign boys to girls and girls to boys? We've made the decision that unless there is a specific need or a request, we will assign our female VIPs a male buddy for the night. And the reason for that is because we just see that as an opportunity for them to walk through the night together. We feel like on the dance floor, that makes things a little more comfortable. It makes things just kind of work a little bit better. Now, that does not mean at all that if there is a specific request that we will not accommodate that request. We absolutely will. But that's the direction. However, and I just want to say this to all of you, we need to be very, very careful with that. To our DJ, we are going to make the request that we not play any slow dance songs. We're going to keep things mid-range to upbeat, okay? Which means those of you on the activity floor are going to have a good time, all right? You are going to be there a long time and just enjoy the night, all right? So get your cardio in and be ready for the evening. But we're going to keep things mid-range to upbeat, and we think that's a good idea because we are going to be assigning buddies in that way. So we won't go into slow dance mode. We're going to stay out of that. Also, if you are a buddy, you need to be very cautious about allowing yourself to be referred to as a date. You're not a date, you're a buddy. As a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you are not a boyfriend or girlfriend, and you need to not give any indication that there's anything like that. Okay? That's just a very important thing to stay away from. And yet at the same time, you're a great friend. You are going to walk with this VIP throughout the night. You are going to do everything with them. You're going to sit down with them. You're going to listen to them. You're going to interact with them. You might have noticed on our buddy list that we had on the wall out there that there were some bolded names. If your name was in bold, the reason it's there is because you marked previous experience with people with special needs. And the reason that we had that there was because if there's kind of an extreme case, that there's going to be a little bit more care that's needed, then we will assign those VIPs with someone that has a little bit of previous experience. But you don't have to have previous experience to walk through the night with one of our VIPs. We've been having our boutique this weekend. Those of you that have helped out with the boutique, would y'all stand? That's really cool. Got a few over here. Right here. Yeah. Hey, let me tell you about that. So we had over 500 dresses that were donated to our boutique. Yeah, that was awesome. We didn't have 500 suits or tuxedos, but we did have a lot. And we had a lot of shoes, and we had costume jewelry, and it's just been a really, really neat weekend. So yesterday from 9 to 12, we had VIPs come to our boutique. And then today, this afternoon from 1 to 5. And I'll tell you, there are a ton of particularly dresses that are still left back there. So much so that we don't know what we're going to do with them. So let me say this really clearly. If you need a fancy dress to wear tonight to shine, before you leave here tonight, go visit the boutique and get one for free. You got it? Listen, I'm serious. I'm so serious. We don't want to just goodwill all these dresses. We're going to do our best to try to store as many as we can. But the number of dresses, I'm just going to speak for you ladies, the number of dresses that we have back there, we cannot store. There's no way. We can't do it. So please, some of you are going to be like, well, I don't want to take it. Listen, taking advantage is not going back there, okay? Please come and get a dress. Please, 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 okay? They will come and they will help you. We have size 0 to size, that, right? I mean, we got a lot. We've got a very wide range. We've got a lot of different styles. Please, 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 ladies especially. Men, there are some suits, but ladies, please get a dress, all right? If you don't need a dress but just want to take one and donate it back next year, do that too. That would be fine. We need the space for storage. Listen, I'm saying all of that to say our boutique this weekend has been really cool, and being able to meet some of our VIPs and being able to hear their story and just being able to interact with them, we are already seeing that this is going to be a special, special, special night. And so it's going to be a great time of us being able to gather together. And so just because you don't have prior experience helping people with special needs does not mean that you're going to feel uncomfortable as a buddy. In our assigning of buddies, we're going to assign those in kind of a random fashion, first come, first serve. And so what we'll do is on the night of Night to Shine, we're not going to have 117 or hopefully 162 buddies standing out in our pavilion. We're going to have you seated in here, and then we're going to call buddies out 4 or 5 at a time, and we'll assign you to a VIP as they register for the night. You'll walk down the red carpet with them, and then we'll go from there, okay? I see the roll sheet just made it 1/4 of the way through. That is not good. All right. Let me read for you a few other tips. I meant to make a copy of this, but I just want to read these to you. I can send this to you by email so that you'll have it and you can read it over on your own. When offering assistance to a person with a disability, wait until your help is accepted and then ask how you can best assist them. So wait until your help is accepted and then ask how you can best assist them. In other words, don't just do something for somebody just because you think they need it. Wait. If you do something for somebody because you think they need it, then you're basically treating them like they can't on their own. And so wait. Say, hey, can I help you? If they say yes, then help them. If they say, no, I got it, okay, that's awesome. Address them just as you would any other person. It is acceptable to offer a handshake during introductions, even if the other person has limited mobility in their hand or an artificial limb. It's okay for you to reach out and take a hand that may not be exactly like yours, but it's you treating someone as a person as they are. Okay? Do not alter your voice or speak in a simplified, childish manner. Speak to someone just like someone. If an interpreter is present, speak directly to the person, not the interpreter. We may have people that have a sign language interpreter or a language interpreter. Speak to the person. Let the interpreter do the interpreting. Do not lean on anyone's wheelchair. It's not there as your prop. It's there as their mobility. Do not interact with service animals without asking first. We may have people who come with service animals. You ask first if you're going to interact. If the person with whom you're speaking has a visual disability, make sure you identify yourself and any people who may be accompanying you. Hey, this is Pastor Dan and such and such and such and such, so that they know who they're speaking to and who's there. Be patient if the person with whom you are speaking has trouble understanding you. Do not get frustrated or raise your voice in an unpleasant way. Same as you would with anyone else. Again, these things seem like they're, we should all know these things. But sometimes we just don't. Sometimes we don't. And that's the reason we have conversations like this. Prevent and handle uncomfortable situations. If you find yourself in an uncomfortable situation, do not be afraid to ask for help. On the night of Night to Shine, we're going to have various colored lanyards. Our leadership will have various colored lanyards, and so you'll be able to identify someone that is in a leadership position very easily just by simply looking at them. Even if you don't know their name, if you find yourself in a difficult or uncomfortable situation, just simply call them over and say, "Can you help me with this situation?" And we will. We'll be there. There will be people all over the place. Some signs of overstimulation, because we do have a sensory room that is available to people that get overstimulated. Some signs of overstimulation include yelling, screaming, crying, extreme fidgeting, fearful looks, and/or aggressive behavior. If this happens, redirect them to a quieter location, and if needed, find your guest's parent or caretaker. Once again, this was a question. I think it's a great question. If a situation like that happens and we need to go find their parent or caretaker, so our medical team, our bathroom attendant team, our sensory room team, lots of those types of needs. If there's a situation and you need to go find one of our VIP's caretaker, you will find them in the respite room, or you will find them in the large room. If we need to interrupt the music for just a minute for our DJ to make an announcement, we'll do that so that we can make sure that VIPs get connected with that caretaker if there is a need, okay? That's important. If you can know who your VIP's caretaker is, that's probably best. If you can somehow connect with them early in the evening so that if there's a need, you can then go and find that caretaker immediately. That'll be great, okay? Maintain your composure and speak kindly at all times. Never, this is what I just said a moment ago, never go off alone with one of the guests. Make sure you maintain physical boundaries and don't in any way encourage a guest to view you as their boyfriend or their girlfriend. Okay? What that means is that you're probably not going to walk through the evening holding hands. You're probably going to do the arm escort over the course of the evening. If they are walking, then you're probably going to do the arm escort. If they're in a wheelchair, you're just simply going to walk with them. If they choose to mobility themselves, or if they want you to push, then you're more than welcome to do that. Okay? Ask, what would you rather me do? You know? So those are some of the things that you need to be thinking about as a buddy. All right? Okay. Any questions that have come up? I see none. This is good. Everybody ready? Okay. So, you know what? That roll has not made it through, which is okay. It's getting there. We'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. You can stop passing it. We're not going to get to everybody. Thank you, all of you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Y'all did a really good job. All right, what we're going to do now is we are about to break up into locations. I think right there. So, what I'm about to call out is I'm going to call out these various teams. You should know the team that you're on by now. Oh, let me say one more thing about teams. Some of you may have been assigned to a team that you're not happy with. First of all, if it's because you're on the buddy team, too bad. You're there. That's just how it's going to be. But if you're on a team that you are not happy with, I mean, really, really, really unhappy, we tried to assign teams based on the preferences that you marked on your registration. Most people got at least one of the teams that they marked on their registration. There are a few unassigned people, and the reason you're unassigned is because you didn't mark anything on your registration. And so we need to put you somewhere, and a couple of those we've already moved somewhere. And then a couple of people are just flat out missing. And I don't know why that is. We'll figure that out, and we may have to interact with you directly to figure out, okay, what happened here. So we'll figure that out. Don't worry about it. Everything's good. But if you're on a team that you're just like, I don't want to be on this team. It's not because your best friend is on another team or anything like that, but if you just have an aversion, then come see me and we'll try to figure it out, okay? But I want to have as few of those conversations as possible. I'm just going to be real honest with you, all right? So what we're going to do is we're going to dismiss you from here, and you're going to go spend a little bit of time with your team. It will not be long. You will not be there for long because honestly, we're building a plane and flying it all at the same time, all right? So you'll know a whole lot more when you show up on February the 9th, all right? This will be our last meeting, so I appreciate all of you being here. Okay, if you are on the bathroom attendance team, Claude and Carol Thompson right here, would y'all stand and let everybody see you? They are our team leaders. Y'all are going to be meeting in FLC 3. FLC 3. Will you go now? Leave. The Family Life Center is the building where Night to Shine will be held, and it is directly across our parking lot. Oh, I'm sorry. Some people got, well, you got the email from me about our background checks. I mean, and the fact that our background checks, 400 background checks, and each one of them costs us money. And so I want to give you an opportunity if you would like to donate to our background check. There's 2 offering plates in the back. Good. And then there is the one on the right side? No. Where is it? Donate? Oh, yeah, up there at the top. So you see up there at the top right of nighttoshinedeland.org, you can see a place where it says donate, and you can click on that, and it will take you to a place where you can donate. It's really that simple. Can you put in like $4,000? Just kidding. Just kidding. So if you would like to do it online, you can do it right there. Or if you would like to do it in person, there's a couple of offering plates at the back. If you're writing a check, you can write it to Stetson Baptist Church, and we will put that. Here's the deal. We do not require you to do that. We do background checks for free. We pay for background checks. We are not asking you to pay for your own background check. We're just so thankful that you're serving. It's just that we've had so many people say, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Is there anything that I can do? This is something you can do in just a real practical, direct relation way. So if you'd like to pay for your own background check, that's awesome. We would certainly appreciate it, okay? The background checks cost us $10.95 a person. Is that what I put in the email? Okay, good. That's right. All right. I thought that was right. Okay. Our setup teardown team. Let's get rid of a lot of you. Our setup teardown team. Carlos Martinez is leading our setup teardown team. Asia West and Allison Kingsley are helping out in the decorations. So if you are on the setup teardown team, you are going to our youth room in the Family Life Center. Follow Carlos. Leave now. If you want to be a buddy, stay right here. Oh, you're wanting to switch from that to the buddy? Gotcha. Gotcha. Awesome. Yes. If you're not on a team, yes, stay here for just a minute. Thank you. Is our setup teardown team gone? Awesome. Salon Shoe Shine team. We have a couple of leaders, Sandy Tucker down here and Bill Weithman. I don't know if you can tell which one is going to lead the salon and which one is going to lead the shoe shine. But Salon Shoe Shine team, y'all are actually going to be meeting in the room where you are going to be. So FLC 1. straight across, okay? So if you're Salon Shoe Shine team, if you will follow Sandy and Bill, and y'all go have a conversation about shining some shoes and dressing people up pretty. Salon Shoe Shine, great. Looking good. Thank you all. Our medical team. We voluntold a couple of people to lead this team. So Rob Brackney, Brandy Futch, and Terry Aguilar right down here are going to be leading our medical team. We're going to send you all to FLC 2, please. Medical team, if you are on the medical team, if you will follow this crew, FLC 2. Oh, by the way, after you get finished with your team meeting, come back in here and get a dress. Our security team is going to be led by Matt Borum, who's not on the list. So we'll make sure that happens. So Matt Borum is going to be leading our security team. If you're on security team, would you follow Matt to FLC 5? FLC 5. He's going out the back door. He'll meet you over there. Matt, just stand outside and do a siren. Respite room team. Beth Hallstrom and Donna Braswell are going to be leading that team. You all are going to FLC 6. FLC 6. Sensory room team, all three of you. Sensory room team. June Gortney is leading. That's the best. The leastest is the bestest. And Lynn, I think, is the person you're looking for. Lynn Calcagna, yeah, there you go. Y'all are going to the library. Y'all are going to the sensory room. Library. Photo team. The best leader ever, Nikki Glenn, my wife, is going to the bride's room right here. Okay, y'all don't have to travel very far. Photo team, bride's room, straight back in this building. Welcome team. Oh, is Brad back? Welcome team, just sit tight for a second. Food service team, Marjorie Savage, there she is. She is the hostess with the mostest. Marjorie Savage is our food service team. We're going to FLC 7 and 8. You can go to the kitchen if you want to, but I just figured a place to sit down with some tables would be awesome. Activities team, you're staying here. Buddy team, you're staying here. Other than welcome team, who have I not called? Activities. Ah, you're back. I was waiting for you. Okay, the welcome team. Brad Gortney is leading your group. So welcome team, we are sending you to FLC 9 and 10. Leave now. That right there. Thanks, bud. So if you're still in this room, you should be buddy team, activity team, or I don't have a team. Yes. If you're unassigned, can all of y'all just sit tight and chat amongst yourselves, check the score of the game? If you're unassigned, who how many minutes?
2 minutes, 48 seconds.
Y'all are all watching your phones. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. I get it. Yeah, love the Lord and football. I agree. I agree. Yeah. Okay, if you are unassigned, can you come see me and all of the rest of you watch the game? All right, so I'm back. Sure, you can. I'm just despondent. The Patriots are going to be the Super Bowl champions again.
Again. Well, you don't know.
So boring. No, the other team will not beat them. It's the Patriots. They go to the Super Bowl and they just win. Yeah, once. I mean, I'm a Mississippi State fan, which means I pull against Alabama and the Patriots. Because I personally think Alabama and the Patriots are like family. They're like family. I think they've both sold their soul to the devil. But anyway, listen, hold up. Alabama's coach is one letter away from Satan. Okay, so. I'm kidding. Please don't take any of that serious, okay? So we really don't have we've already kind of talked about everything that we need to talk about. There's a couple of things that I want to share with you. First of all, if you're on the activities team, we may just flat out grab you and say, you got to be a buddy. It may just not even be a choice. We may just say, you go, because let me tell you what happened. So in Daytona, they had this really cool idea because they were at Embry-Riddle. So it was the Ormond Beach Night to Shine, but they were going to meet at Embry-Riddle. And so they had this really cool idea because with Embry-Riddle, they've got these Navy midshipmen, And so when the VIPs showed up the very first year, they had these Navy midshipmen lining the red carpet with their swords, and dress blues, and it was like, check this out. This is awesome, right? Except for the fact that they didn't have enough buddies. And so by the end of the night, they were like grabbing the Navy midshipmen saying, go with this person, just go. They also had the Embry-Riddle cheerleading squad out there, mascot and everything. The mascot got to be a buddy. It was just like, this has to happen. So we may have some of that, and we'll just figure it out. So if you're on activities team, then we're going to do that. Becky McDonald, right down here, she leaned over to my wife at the last meeting, and she said, I could so do that activities team. It'll be like a cruise ship. And so here's the deal. Activities team is not just you being on the dance floor. Activities team is engaging with others and encouraging them to come and be a part of that thing. And so really, as a member of the activities team, you are in essence also a buddy. Because you're just interacting with people the entire night. That is your whole goal, is to interact with people and keep them moving and keep things kind of up and exciting and fun. Okay. For our buddies, let me just say this: for activity team or buddies, I wanted to keep you here just for a couple of minutes more. Do you have any questions based on everything that we've said, based on everything you've thought about, based on everything you've heard about Night to Shine? Are there any questions that we can answer for you? I see a few. Yes.
Would you just reiterate again? Would we get here that night? If we're a buddy, we come right here.
I should have said this a minute ago, and I'll do it by email. All volunteers will check in this building. Okay, so we're not going to have volunteers just kind of filtering throughout the campus. All volunteers will check in this building, and then we will kind of move you into place when you need to be in place. So all volunteers will check in this building, which will keep everybody in the right spot, and it won't overwhelm any other place on our campus. Okay, time. So at the dead level latest, 5:30. 5:15, 5 o'clock. Yeah, 5 o'clock is when we want you here. Okay? 5 o'clock is when we want you here. 5 o'clock in here. What's that? Dressed and ready to go. Absolutely. Absolutely. Dressed and ready to party. That's right. Mm-hmm.
About when you said if we needed to go get the parent, if there's like an issue, is that like the time when we get one of the leaders to stay with the buddy so that we could go get the parent?
Could be that. It could be that. The question was if you have to go get a parent or a caretaker, what do you like? Who stays with the VIP? And that would be a leader or another buddy or hey you. Can you stay right here for just a second? Here's the thing: we're still thinking. This is the building the ship and building the plane and flying it too. We're still thinking through how are we going to connect buddies with VIPs with caretakers. We're kind of thinking through all of that, making sure that it happens in a good way. But that's still in flux a little bit. By that night, we'll have a good system, I promise. But we'll work it out. Yes. I'm so sorry for not dealing with that already. Yes, we said that at our last meeting. All of our volunteers will park in the far field. Okay, so we're gonna get as many. We do not want our volunteers parking in this parking lot area. So they'll park in the far field. If you are dressed in such a way that you cannot walk through grass, then we'll have some people there that will help out with that. Mm-hmm.
As far as our buddies or any other volunteers, let's say someone needs a restroom break with yourself. We're gonna have a plan for that, hopefully, just looking at the time frame or what is, I guess.
Yeah, it's a good question. So there's a few things that I'll say. First of all, with us not feeding you, you won't need as many restroom breaks. Yeah, ration your water. So that'll be one. But yeah, just let that kind of, exactly. Figure out what that means. If there's a dire circumstance, then ask one of the bathroom attendants to sit with your VIP while you go to the restroom, because there will be people that will be right there. Yeah. Okay. Maybe. The statement was the caretaker may stay with them, and they may. We just don't know. We provide a respite room where they can go and kind of take a deep breath. We've learned that some caretakers and parents use this as a date night for themselves, of which we're going to be very honoring of that. I'm sure that will be for some of our more high-functioning VIPs than for some that need more specific care. But regardless, that might be a possibility. But what we've heard is that the respite room is not, when you hear respite room, you think, oh man, that place is just going to be packed. And what we found out from the one that's happening in Daytona is that a lot of caretakers wanted to experience the night with their VIP. So, questions? Yes?
When will you be making the decision for those that are on the waiting list?
When will we be making the decision for those that are on the waiting list? I would say within the next week and a half. I would say within the next week and a half is when we're going to try to make that decision. We're reaching out this week to those that are registered to be sure that they're actually going to come. Anytime you have a free event, there's always the possibility that somebody signs up and then at the last minute says, I signed up, but I'm just not going to go. We want to express to all of our families that this is a really popular event, and so if they're not going to come, we need to know that. And then also we know for sure at least one person that was signed up as a part of a group, because all they had to do for a group registration was say this many. That's all they had to do. And so we know that there's at least one person that's both signed up as an individual and signed up as a part of a group. So we'll take care of that as well. Okay? Boy, the photo team had fun. Listen to that. All right, any other questions? Any other questions? Yes, yes. Yes. We will move people from this room to be paparazzi. That will probably start with Buddy and Activity Team, and then we will kind of slowly filter different people into different places. I mean, we don't need 40 people in the activities team on moment one. We need that to kind of build over the course of the evening, and so they may start as paparazzi and then go from there. Yes. Any of that. I'll say as a general rule, if we have a VIP that has any extreme need, we will let you know about that. We will also, if it's an extreme need or a particular kind of a special attention need, they will probably be assigned to one of the people in bold. So yes, Ms. Carol. Not this year. It is something that we've thought about. The question was whether or not we would be able to get a tent and do kind of an outdoor environment. Not this year. It is something that we might think about in years to come, but not this year. The entire gym will be dance floor. The whole gym will be dance floor. If you were here last time, you saw the map, and it looked a little bit, most of you made the assumption, it looked like we were going to pull the curtain and half the gym, one side and the other. Not going to happen. So like our caricature artists that we're going to be in the gym are probably going to be in the room where the karaoke and the food is. So, yes? We will have a few of those set up. Most of our seating areas, though, will be in where the food is, where there's tables and things like that. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes. There are no restrictions on pictures unless they personally have a restriction on pictures. But everything has, we have media releases for all of those. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about sending pictures back and forth through text or something like that. Yeah, I would not do that. I would be very, very, very cautious because that's one of those boundaries that you're crossing. You're not keeping a healthy boundary when you do that. And so we will, however, that night, we will have a hashtag that we're going to promote, and we'll encourage you to use that hashtag. And then we're trying to figure out a good system whereby as those hashtags are used, those pictures will show up somewhere publicly in the event itself. So it'll be something that people can be excited about. And then they'll also, because of that, they'll also be able to go back later and search that hashtag, find those pictures, and download them themselves. So, other questions? Any other questions? All right. Well, with that done, if you have any questions that come up in the coming weeks, feel free to send them by email. We will, here's the great thing about questions. When you ask a question, we'll answer it to you, but if we think it's, wow, that's a really good question, we should have dealt with that, we'll just include that in one of the emails that we send out to everybody. And so with all of that, I want to encourage you to do two things. One, go get a dress. Two, go cheer for the Vikings. All right, so we'll see you later. God bless.